Thank you and good morning, everyone. It's no secret that I was skeptical of the streetcar during my campaign, but that skepticism has been rooted in my desire to ensure that the streetcar is as successful as possible and that future extensions of the streetcar serve our entire community. During my first month in office, I worked hard to understand the details of the project so that I can provide regular updates to the members of this community so that we can do what I promised to do, which is to have project transparency from the beginning. I set a goal to provide an update within my first 30 days as mayor, and so that's why we are here today. I've also learned about the many important benefits the project will bring to Omaha, which is something you're going to hear me talk a lot about starting today. I'm so pleased to be joined by members of my staff, the Omaha Streetcar Authority, City of Omaha Public Works members, and representatives of several key partners who are working hard to make the streetcar possible, including Metropolitan Utilities District, the Omaha Public Power District, Cox Communications, Concordia, our design and construction teams, HDR, Kiewit, Sampson, Benish, Hawkins, and Jacobs. This team will work in a coordinated effort toward the planned 2028 streetcar opening. I would like to take a moment to recognize the work of the Omaha Streetcar Authority. Board members include President Jay Noddle, Vice President Steve Curtis, Lauren Sinek, William Klingman, Dave Fanslaw, Steve Jensen, and Edith Simpson. The authority collaborates daily with my office, public works, contractors, and designers to keep this enormous project moving forward. I appreciate their dedication and expertise. As part of my overall commitment to transparency, I'm here today to provide an update and an estimated cost of the streetcar. The last time the city provided a cost estimate was in June of 2024 at the 60% design phase. At that time, the bond cost of the project was estimated at $389 million. As a reminder, the bond cost authorized by the City Council is $440 million. As of today, the project stands at the 100% design phase. Most of the key contracts have been finalized, and we have a better understanding of what lies beneath our streets. The market for materials, labor, and necessary components continues to fluctuate. Taking all these factors into consideration means we are able to make more informed calculations on the costs needed to complete this project. Based on these factors, the updated bond estimate for the streetcar is now $421 million. This represents an approximately 8% increase over the 60% design phase from our last update. It remains below the City Council approved bond amount of $440 million. The city has expected the cost estimate to go up as we neared final design, as is often the case with large complex projects when going through the design process. The city remains hopeful that the cost would be slightly smaller due to the fact that the bids prior to the year were coming in at or under the engineer's estimates. These costs are reflected in some of the items in the table we will provide you today. Construction costs in general have increased this year, which has shown up in some of the more recent bids. I want to note that it's possible the bond estimate will fluctuate further. It could be slightly higher or slightly lower. This is the reality of planning and executing a transportation and economic development project of this magnitude. However, at 100% design, with only one significant construction contract outstanding, and as utility work becomes more fully defined, we feel confident in a bond cost estimate within a few $1,000,000 of this new estimated figure of $421 million. There are several additional associated costs we are tracking along with this project. They represent costs that are being paid by others, including MUD, OPPD, the Sewer Maintenance Fund, and the Nebraska Department of Transportation. These are for items and updates that would have happened anyway, maintenance and enhancements, but can most efficiently happen in conjunction with this large project. The estimated cost of projects paid by other sources is $57.7 million. I'm joined today by representatives of the utility providers who are working hard to ensure the infrastructure that undergirds the streetcar and nearby development is up to date and has the capacity to support new residents, businesses, and amenities the streetcar is creating. Since I took office just under 1 month ago, the City of Omaha has had necessary, productive, and positive discussions with MUD about its ongoing utility work throughout the downtown and midtown area. We are pleased to be able to share that the city and utilities have come to an agreement on the addition of a second gas crew at a work site on 19th Street. This means that gas work related to the streetcar project will be complete by year's end, and we can be confident in the costs associated with these efforts. MUD has agreed to work toward aligning this cost more closely with the initial estimates. We will continue to work closely with both MUD and OPPD to upgrade our downtown infrastructure and ensure safe and reliable systems. Why are we at the streetcar vehicle maintenance today? Behind me is the first phase of construction of the Omaha Streetcar's vehicle maintenance facility, which will include bays for cleaning, servicing, and routine maintenance, as well as the streetcar staff, offices, and operations command center. This facility will effectively be the home of our streetcar. Just as our fleet of 6 vehicles will be carefully monitored and fine-tuned to ensure they operate smoothly and safely, I, alongside my team, will be carefully steering the development of Omaha's streetcar project to ensure it is built, managed, and operated not only for the benefit of every person who rides it, but for every resident of our community who will benefit from the jobs, housing, and economic development opportunities the streetcar brings to Omaha. These opportunities, jobs and housing and economic development, are really exciting parts of what I've learned over the past 30 days about this project. We know that a more connected city is one that offers more opportunities, and I've learned that the streetcar will work in tandem with existing bus routes and pedestrian corridors to help connect our neighborhoods, employment hubs, and entertainment districts. I've learned how the streetcar is a driving force for economic growth, and that it has already spurred more than $1 billion in new development in Omaha's urban core to create new jobs, new housing, and new opportunities. In fact, we're creating new development at a faster rate than independent analysts had predicted. In speaking with residents across the city, a common question I received is how the streetcar will benefit residents who don't live or work in the urban core, people who may not spend a lot of time in Midtown and downtown. Let me be clear, the benefits of the streetcar will be felt in every neighborhood of the city. A strong, attractive, and prosperous downtown absolutely benefits our entire community. How? First, we will have new tax revenue. A strong property tax base in the urban core supports tax-funded entities like the city, the county, and the Omaha Public Schools. Jobs. Streetcar construction creates jobs. Development in the streetcar corridor creates jobs. An increase in local, regional, and national visitors will create jobs as well. Our local economy is a tightly woven fabric, and these jobs will be located just a short walk, bus ride, or commute away from residents in the urban core, as well as North and South Omaha. Affordable housing. Revenue from the streetcar promises to create new affordable housing in the streetcar corridor. Currently, we expect to be able to direct north of $100 million to the creation of such housing through this project. This is an element of the project I am perhaps most excited about, as we start to work with updated costs at the 100 design phase. We can now begin making real plans for affordable housing, impacting the incredible economic drivers the streetcar will bring to Omaha. I promise to keep you up to date on this and other exciting impacts associated with the project. While Omaha's neighborhoods and businesses are unique with unique needs at the end of the day, we are one Omaha, north, south, west, and east. And when one part of our Omaha thrives, all of us thrive. I want to end my comments by coming back to transparency. This is a guiding principle of my role as mayor. I want to be sure that our community has the facts and the answers they need to understand this project and how the streetcar will help our community grow. It's a complex project, to be sure. I had a lot to learn, and you probably do too. I pledge today to provide at least one monthly community update about the streetcar in addition to other relevant updates and announcements to ensure Omahans feel informed and perhaps even inspired and excited about what the streetcar will help us achieve. These updates may come in the form of media appearances, videos, social media posts, or community events, but rest assured you will hear from me frequently about how the streetcar is progressing. And with that, I thank you all for your attention, and I'll try to answer any questions or turn it over to the expert.
Mayor, you said that you got new information that make you more supportive of those streetcars. What were the deciding factors that you couldn't get before that made you decide that you'd be so supportive?
Well, one of the things that was not emphasized at all during the time that I was looking at the streetcar was the opportunity for affordable housing with this project. And we will have upwards of $100 million and probably significantly more than that to actually invest in affordable housing. So that is a huge need for the city and the citizens of this community, and certainly something I believe is part of the goals that I have for my administration.
Following up on that, is the reason that money is available is because there's projected to be enough TIF to pay that $440 million for the bonds plus additional?
Yes.
Affordable housing, will it all be in the streetcar zone, or will it be outside that zone?
It will be able to expand slightly outside the zone, a little bit further north and a little bit further south than the actual urban core district.
And what could the timeline on that be? Would you have to really build the streetcar first before you could then turn to funding affordable housing? Is that something we're looking at years down the road?
We will have to finish the streetcar, obviously. The goal is to have that done by 2028. And then shortly after that, we will have funds available to be able to start on affordable housing, and then that will progressively increase throughout the years. We believe we should have about $40 million early after the completion of the streetcar.
Have the city figured out what form that will take? Apartments, we know there's a lot of apartments being built along Dodge Street, for instance, and in Blackstone, but if you guys envision what that will look like?
What we want to do always is to have conversations with the expert in that area. We've got some great partners that we will be helping to work with to help us design what that looks like. But we have some partners that we've been partnering with on affordable housing, and we'll use their expertise to design it.
What kind of jobs will this facility, you said, will create jobs? What kind of jobs will those create?
Sure. Well, you're always going to have manufacturing jobs when you look at a project like this, but then you're going to have a lot of companies, a lot of businesses that will actually locate around this route, and those jobs will be created by this project as well.
You referenced your skepticism of the streetcar that you spoke about during your campaign, saying that you learned more about it and have a different take. What is your current take about the streetcar? Just as a solid overall statement.
Well, my take on the streetcar is that it's a great opportunity for the city of Omaha to really spur economic development and have a solid plan for our urban core, and then be able to take that development and spread out outside the urban core, as I've talked about during the campaign, where we can have an economic impact on North and South Omaha as well.
How are negotiations going with UNMC to get the streetcar closer to their campus?
We've had some preliminary discussions with them, but we haven't made any final determination. That is one of the very possible routes for expansion of the streetcar.
What would that cost?
I don't know. We'd have to do all of the homework to actually figure out the cost.
Are there any other factors aside from affordable housing that you mentioned that helped you change your perspective on that?
Yes, the fact that we have increased significantly already the economic impact of the streetcar beyond the original estimates, and then will exceed those significantly if you look at the progress we've already made. So you have an opportunity for economic development and jobs. Then you also have affordable housing. Then as the TIF is paid, you will also have the opportunity for a significantly increased tax base in the urban core, which helps the city of Omaha, helps the Omaha Public School District and Douglas County, as well as other taxing entities. The other part of that is that you will also have an opportunity to build and capitalize on the things that are around the streetcar and expand that, as I said a moment ago.
So one of the reasons you feel like you're confident you can stay within the 440 is because most of the contracts have been let. But what is that last outstanding contract that you're into?
Yeah, the last outstanding contract that we had that was advertised just the other day is a project that's in proximity to Turner Boulevard, which is a combination of a sewer project, a little bit of OPPD work, and then also some MED work. So that's the last major contract that we'll have.
Just to clarify, that one is that built into the current estimates of that 421?
Yeah, that
it is built into
correct.
That, but you just don't know exactly where it's going to come.
Correct. It'll be handled the same way that we've had some of the other contracts, Utilities West, Utilities East. Those are advertised. We'll take advantage of the local construction market. They'll put together bids on those individual projects, and based on the bids that come in, then we'll know what that cost is.
And so you have an estimated cost for that project within the 421, but you don't know whether it'll hit that.
Correct. And that's why it could fluctuate, above or below what the number that the mayor indicated.
And could the contracts that you've already let, do they have wiggle room that could increase their costs? Whether it's the construction contract with Hewitt or are there other things that could increase those costs?
Yeah, so when you're looking at Utilities East, Utilities West, the bridge projects, all of those were a hard bid cost. Obviously, a lot of those projects have built-in unit prices, so if there's something that's determined in the field that is a little bit different than what was actually included in the contract documents, then there could be a change order to it. With regard to Kiewit building the streetcar system itself, that's a guaranteed maximum price, so that's already built in. There could be some reduction in that cost, but that's a guaranteed maximum price. You're welcome.
Okay, well, thank you all for your time today, and we appreciate you being here.